Hey, Coach Jenny here. Quick note on why I'm doing this. My clients keep getting hit with viral nutrition claims that mess with their energy and their labs. So once a month, I am going to be dropping a bonus debunk episode, short, no fluff. So today, we're going to talk about the carnivore diet. This is education, not medical advice. And if you're thriving and your labs look great, amazing. This is not a takedown. My stance up front is that I actually encourage adequate protein, but I encourage a balanced diet. I coach clients to hit that protein guideline daily. But if you have chronic kidney disease, protein and certain minerals, they have to be determined and tracked by your care team. Okay? So let's go. Now, the first claim, humans didn't eat carbs. This is the one that everybody is trying to tell you. It's the same thing that also, same sort of claim that people that are on paleo diets and all of these things, they're claiming, well, back then they didn't eat this. Well, that's false. Neanderthal dental calculus literally contains cooked plant starch. Our own DNA shows extra copies of salivary amylase, the AMY1 gene, that is an adaptation to digest starch long before farming. And living foragers like the Hadza, they actually eat meat, they eat honey, and they eat tubers. So teeth, genes, and field data all say carbs were on the menu. So let's drop that. Second, meat only, and what happens with your microbiome, right? Your gut bacteria. Short animal only diets shift the gut within days. Up is going to go bile tolerant species, and down will go the fiber loving butyrate. These are producers that help protect your colon. So, in fiber deprived conditions, microbes, what they're going to do, they're going to start nibbling the mucus barrier, and that's bad news for your gut integrity. Now, red meat heavy patterns can also raise TMAO, which is, and I don't think I can pronounce this, but trimethylamine oxide. So those levels drop when red meat stops. And zero fiber equals low butyrate and a cranky gut ecosystem. So, no. Third, fiber outcomes and constipation, right? Across large reviews, higher dietary fiber and whole grains, they are linked with lower all-cause mortality, cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, colorectal cancer. All of these are things that are positive when you're incorporating fiber in your diet, and fiber comes from carbs. Practically, when plants vanish, constipation shows up. Psyllium, taken consistently, helps with like stool frequency and consistency. But I want you to stay with this. Fiber is not a vibe, it's a protective habit. So let's go to the next one. Carnivore cure diabetes and beats other diets. Well, and this is close to my heart as a diabetes prevention health coach, but the carnivore evidence is mostly self-selected surveys. You know what a survey is? You know those survey monkeys that you get that you can casually answer? Those. That's a survey. It may be useful for hypotheses, but they're not safe. It's not a science-backed, it's not a peer-reviewed study. So again, everything I advocate for, I need for it to be science-based. Now, in randomized trials, yes, there's some draw and low carb and low fat for weight loss, as long as there is like quality and adherence to it. But in people with prediabetes and type 2 diabetes, I have to say, even though I am not a strong advocate, that is my opinion, keto diets help. Mediterranean diet is like the one that has the most science-backed studies that it's proven that it's beneficial for overall health. They both improve A1C. However, keto tends to raise the LDL cholesterol. So just something to be mindful for. Yes, you can improve the glycemia with these diets. However, without erasing the plants, lipids will still matter. There's still going to be something that you have to deal with. Okay? Now, next, risks and red flags. Now, when you're having this carnivore diet, you got to watch the LDL, the ApoB, and they usually drive atherosclerosis and can spike on a very low carb in some people, ketogenic patterns. And I know I'm talking a lot about science, which I hate, but I need to do it just so that you can be clear. They show a measurable kidney stone risk over time, uric acid stones typically. Gout risk rises with high meat, and even vitamin C intake can fall short on meat only unless organs and supplements are part of the routine. So again, labs over vibes. If your numbers drift the wrong way, the diet is not working for you. I want you to really embrace this. I'm going over my list here. But our ancestors weren't sedentary. Huh. Okay. Hunter gatherers moved a lot, but total daily energy burn is surprisingly similar to ours. Once you adjust to your body size, our bodies constrain expenditure, right? So, what truly differs is the ecosystem. Our environment is not the same. Even the quality of food is not the same. We all know that, right? More movement, fewer ultra processed foods. The whole thing is about the process and the pesticides and all these other things that now we have that they didn't have before. And they were way more fermentable. So that also adds the microbiome, your gut health, your immunity, the fiber. So it was shaping a more diverse microbiome back then. So you can't, you know, paste a Paleolithic menu onto a 2025 lifestyle and expect the same outcomes. That's just doesn't make much sense. But that's where I'm going to leave it like that. Now, let's talk about another thing that many talk about, mitochondria. Mitochondria are your cell's power plants. People that have fibromyalgia, sometimes it could not using energy well or efficiently, I should say. Endurance and intervals build and strengthen them. So you stop training, and I'm talking about physical training, and gains will fade. Diets do support this with adequate protein, adequate omega 3s, minerals like magnesium, polyphenols, and like, again, all these things. Mitochondria is not just all about carnivore. You can still have an optimal level without necessarily going into a carnivore diet. Now, builds engines with movement and protect them with a protein forward but fiber rich plates, not meat only. I'm going to say this again. Build engines with movement, protect them with a protein forward diet and a fiber rich plate, not only meat. Now, let's go to segment 8. This is a note about kidney and liver safety note, because I know a lot of people will say, and it is true, your body is created for survival. So if there's something that you're not getting, the body is going to do its best to switch, transform, use what it has to produce that energy and survive. So if you're having chronic kidney disease and you're not on dialysis, protein targets are typically lower and individualized with a dietitian. Like, you have to be monitoring your levels with a dietitian. I have had one client like that, and it was extremely challenging because I had to get on board with his entire team. Why? Because it's very risky. Even though I do not perform the functions of a dietitian, I still needed to know exactly what the direction was so that I can support my client better. if that is your case, please work with a team of doctors, get a dietitian, and get your specifics on how much protein you need to get per day. So, jumping into a carnivore diet because you saw it on a forum may not be the best approach for you. Again, it's not even just the protein. Minerals like potassium, phosphorus, sodium, they all need tailoring if you're in that category. So if you're on dialysis, protein needs usually to increase to prevent muscle loss. If you have cirrhosis, current guidelines is not to restrict protein. And again, talk to your medical provider, please. Bottom line, protein, if you ask me, absolutely. All different sources of protein. Plants? Yes. Carnivore can create short term wins, but it shrinks your microbiome diversity. It can worsen key risk markers, and it ignores how humans actually evolved to eat. The sustainable middle wins: protein forward, fiber rich, minimally processed. All the study links, I am going to put the links on the show notes. On Instagram, if you follow me on Instagram, comment science and I will DM the link with the list. If you want help going over this and you want a conversation just to even know, like, what do I ask my doctor? Book a clarity call. Comment clarity and you can book a clarity call. Thank you so much for listening. And if you want a little bit of color, there's so many doctors out there that are very much advocating for this carnivore diet. But there's this one doctor, go to Mr. Google and check. Paul Saladino. He followed this for several years. He actually had to adjust it because he started having a lot of health issues. So I still keep on backing up science-backed strategies, things that have been proven, that have had peer reviews, that have evidence. And again, extreme diets are typically not the answer. Until the next one.